Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Tamara. Yes, the studio audience is back in this bit. You feel me? Thank you so much for tuning in. I am, as you can tell, feeling better. New listeners, thank you so much for coming through. New episodes drop every Thursday, so come on back through. You feel me? I usually talk about my life and the ways I'm trying to grow. So on my day 1, 2, 3, 4, 23, 47, 98, whatever week you came in, you feel me? We are on week 144, y'all. Thank you so much for your continued support. If you're not, you should totally follow me on social media, and the link is in the episode notes, as well as, y'all, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's literally free 99 for y'all to subscribe. I'm slowly but surely trying to grow my channel, you know what I'm saying? So thank you so much for that, guys. This last weekend was a big weekend for my company. Those of you that are new, I launched a consulting agency a little over a year ago, and almost a year ago I left my full-time job, and it wasn't like that wasn't my plan. They kind of forced me to make a choice, and I of course chose my dream over them because the plan was to at some point in life leave there anyway. And so it's been such a wild journey. A lot of ultimately what I can see is that I was establishing a solid foundation. So like the first year was spent, if you think about the way a house is built, you got to put the concrete in first, right? You got to put that in first so that as you build on that house, the walls and the doors and the windows, and if there's multiple floors, whatever, you got to put the concrete in first, right? And so that's what I feel like this first year of business was really just establishing a solid foundation, also fine tuning really what services do I actually want to offer. And I feel like that will evolve, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just the way it goes. But I feel like I have a pretty solid grasp on all of that. And then this past weekend, on Saturday, so there was the Own the Pond Summit, that was Saturday, and Myron and Charles were on the show. And at that point, Own the Pond was their apparel brand. And it has since evolved to, there was a business summit this past weekend that I was a part of, and then it's even further evolving into a business center because they are very passionate about helping equip entrepreneurs in mainly the North Omaha area. So like North Omaha where I live is the inner city. So helping people that don't always have access to that type of information or whatever. They have like a school called Shift Omaha that's a incubator, I think is what it's called. And so they really help equip people to own the pond, you know what I'm saying, own a business. And they've helped so many people get started, right? And so they had a business summit this past weekend. There were speakers, bomb food, just so amazing. Like, I've been to so many different conferences throughout my career, and free food is generally a thing, like at all of them, you know what I'm saying? But this is the first one that I've ever been to where it wasn't, okay, this is the meal and this is just what you get. They had like food trucks that they brought in, which were also local entrepreneurs. So there was a taco truck. So if you know me, you know that's where I went. I had elote for the first time. Y'all, I have truly been missing out, right? So there was a taco truck, there was wings, there was slushies, and there were, I want to say, 2 or 3 others that had food. And like, you got a ticket to get food and you got to go choose like where you wanted to get your meal. I just felt so like celebrated, and just like it was really dope. But they had speakers and then they had breakout sessions. So I was a breakout session presenter. I taught on developing, well, I said creating a digital marketing strategy. And so what's really dope about that is that I had a curriculum already as part of the Build a Biz curriculum that I created. And so, I mean, he asked me to do this like back in July. And so I was like, all right, cool. I already got this. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then I got sick. So I had planned on like last week getting in, or I mean like the week before I should say, getting into like, okay, let me look at what I have and let me create a handout, because that's what I had wanted to do. Well, getting sick just put me behind, and so here it is like 2 days before, and I'm looking at what I actually have, and I'm like, this doesn't really, it's not giving what I really wanted to give, you know what I'm saying? So I ultimately had to kind of tweak what I had and make it, I feel like, a little more informative, and then created a handout that they could write in so that they could take that with them and ultimately create their digital marketing strategy. Like I wanted it to be something where I made sure the session was interactive. So I would ask them questions, because what I know from when I used to lead the workshops, really in any job that I've had, is that when you make it interactive, it really helps the people retain the information. And it's not about being this lecture where I tell you all that I know. It's about how can I help you to know what I know so that you can do what I'm doing in the sense of, you know, marketing your product or service or whatever in a digital world. And so I got great feedback from the people in my session. And then the dopest thing though was like being around so many entrepreneurs that looked like me. And I know there are other entrepreneurs in the city, you know what I'm saying? But it's just kind of like us all being together in this space, all of us that were there, because I know there were so many more that either didn't come or couldn't come or whatever. And y'all missed out. It was very empowering, very encouraging. Like the speakers really just like spoke life into me with what they shared and the way they encouraged us and challenged us and all that. But it was so dope to be like leading a workshop. It was so dope to have somebody that I know is not going to have just anybody be a part of it. And when he asked me to be a part of it, and I told him this, it was at a time when I was actually really struggling, because business has, it's been just an interesting and also a very lonely journey. And I've said this on here before. And so it's at a point where I was like just really struggling. And I'm like, bruh, I really just want to go back and just go get a job. Like, I'm just not saying I would quit my business, but I also have known that going back to a 9 to 5 is going to take away from the time. Like 40 hours a week for somebody else's dream, I need them 40 hours. I really don't have time for a 9 to 5. That's why I do the subcontracting work, because I make a really good hourly wage, and then I don't have to give as much of my time building someone else's dream. But the dope thing about the subcontracting is really it's coaching clients. So I offer coaching services. So it's a service that I would provide anyway. I just don't have to go out and look for clients. But when he reached out, it was at a point when like I was just really struggling. And anything that you are building or starting from scratch, or you know that like when you're coming to the end, like when you're finishing school or whatever, trying to reach your goal, you know that it is a struggle. Like if stuff was easy to achieve, everybody would do everything. Anything worth having is usually there's some sort of battle to get there and battle to maintain it. And so I share all this always because I don't ever want y'all to think my consistency means that this is easy. It's not. But like I said, when he reached out, it just did something and just ignited something in me, because what I know about him is that, like I told him, he's not going to ask somebody raggedy to teach a breakout session. Furthermore, he has a marketing company. So if you have a marketing company, you know what goes into a digital marketing strategy. So if you feel that whatever you've seen or know or whatever of me is enough to come be a part of your summit, like that just really like spoke life to me. And then as it got closer to it, I was just like, wow, this is so dope. And then being there and just the vibes, like they had a DJ and the decor was so dope. I was in the VIP section because that's where all the breakout presenters and any other like sponsors or whatever sat. So that was dope because it's just like really my company really like being out there before the public in a face to face type way, because all of my marketing has been done digitally because I started my company in COVID and there haven't really been many opportunities for me to really network in person. So then there were people that, my Facebook friends that went, that they were like, man, I really wanted to be able to come to your session, but I can't because they went to a different session because all of the sessions were at the same time. But they see that I offer coaching services. So I passed out my business card. They're like, I want to connect with you. Like I said, I got great feedback from the people in my session. And then shout out to my friend Tommy. She's somebody that I've been doing kind of like pro bono business coaching with. And in one of our sessions, we were talking about the summit. And long story short, she came with me so she could see kind of like up close and personal what that would look like. But the dope thing about her being there is she took pictures for me and video. And so that's how, if you saw the picture that I posted of me leading the workshop, like that's how I was able to get that content because I had somebody there. And she was just such an amazing just support. Just I was able to just be there and soak it all in. And there are certain things that if she wasn't there, I would have had to think about, oh, let me grab my purse or let me whatever. But she almost served as like this executive assistant that I didn't even know I needed. Now I can't imagine going to an event like that without one, if I'm honest. And I've always said that when I hire people, like the first person that I'm going to hire is going to be like an executive assistant. But it was just so dope. She was just such a huge support. And the whole event was just so amazing, right? So that was Saturday. And the dope thing is the conversation that I had with Myron, like I said, that's one of the founders, is that he said, and I'm sharing this because I want y'all. I'm sharing it for a reason. So he said that, like when he had, we've known each other for like over a decade, and so I started my podcast, and then I started my business. And he said when he started paying attention to like what I was promoting and like what my business actually was, he said that in his mind it didn't fit the paradigm of who he knew I was. And then he just continued to watch and pay attention. And he said he was like, and then I was consistent. And I'm gonna say it how he said it. He was like, and you're killing it, and you're consistent, and you really know what you're talking about. And so he was like, he had to have me be a part of the summit. I needed to hear that because I have been in spaces, and I'm gonna try not to cry. I've been in spaces throughout my career where I have ultimately said things that were right to really help the structure of the organization that I was working at or whatever. And I really wasn't heard. And so, while yes, I started this business and yes, I just kept going because I don't allow like the negative opinions of others. I've talked about this on here before where people will say, like, oh, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. And if I feel like I'm really supposed to do it, I'm going to do it right. So I don't allow that to stop me, but at the same time to be affirmed by somebody that I respect, and especially somebody who's doing similar work as me, like I needed that. And to also be included, you know what I'm saying? So that was so dope. That was Saturday, right? So then there's Sunday. That was the Room for Roots, which is the organization that I went through their program to get my business started. So the Priscilla's Way is what the program is actually called. So the Priscilla's Way meet and greet was Sunday. So it was like a jam-packed weekend with a lot more peopling than I normally do, right? And so there were other people from the program that were there. There were donors and other people, you know what I'm saying, who just wanted to know about the program or whatever. Bomb food, bomb vibes. Again, so dope just being in the space. And this is with predominantly women and predominantly Black women entrepreneurs that have gone through the program and have so many dope businesses. And even if they're not Black women, it's just they're women. So again, people that are like me, and we have a group chat and we support each other and whatever. Like one of my large SOP clients is somebody that came through the program because the owner, I did her SOPs as well, and she referred her to me because she is very big on us supporting each other. Like there's a makeup artist, I will be hitting her up when I have an event that I need to go to. She does other stuff too. There's somebody that like made this, she makes dresses, like custom dresses. Her her dress was so dope and she made it. You know what I'm saying? There's the person who did the decor, which was again so dope, somebody who came through the program. So to be in to be around people who really have made it, and I'm talking about the founder of both of these organizations. I should say founders because the Own the Pond is, that's two founders, right? To be where they're at, but to say, you know what, it's one thing for me to have found this success, but it's another thing for me to empower and equip and, like, for real, really support other people. Like the Own the Pond Summit, that wasn't volunteer work. I did get compensated for leading that breakout session, which is so dope because I didn't even know that when I agreed to it. I was just so happy to be asked to be a part of it. Because, like I've said on here, this entrepreneurship thing is new. It has been a very lonely journey. And so I was just happy to be asked to be a part of it. I didn't even think about asking for money or any of that. And then when we got the memorandum of understanding, I was like, oh, okay, I feel it. Again, that just spoke life to me because it affirmed and reiterated what I said when I started a consulting agency is the value in knowledge. Like me knowing what I know that I apply to my own business and also what I've applied to my career because I've been able to keep grinding and keep going despite everything I've had going on because that's what I've had to do over and over and over again in many different ways. If y'all remember when I was trying to become a QA at my last job, and there was a period of time where I was basically shadowing, so doing QA work so that I could prepare for the next interview when they were going to accept applications again. I was basically like doing two jobs for a little bit, never fell behind on anything. So I've always been someone, when I went to get my degree, I was a full time parent, single parent. I was a full time employee and in college full time doing an accelerated program. So everything that I do now as a content creator, this is what I've been doing in my career. And so knowledge is so valuable. You know what I'm saying? So this has just been such a dope weekend. Two takeaways before I get out of here because as you can see, my episodes are shorter. I actually got some feedback that someone said they like the shorter episodes. I actually like it too for editing purposes. So that's kind of how solo episodes, I'm trying to have them not really more than a half an hour. So, four takeaways, right? Always be wherever you're at in life. This is why I put out free game all the time from Tamara the Dawn Inc. Or if people reach out to me and ask me questions, I answer them. You know what I'm saying? I don't try to keep knowledge for myself because I want everybody to win. And I don't even want to say win. I want everyone to achieve their goals in whatever ways that I can help. Now, if you got some crazy goals like kill everybody, I don't want that. But I'm saying, let's be real. If you're wanting to become an entrepreneur too and I can help, then I want to do that. So always be looking for ways that you can help others achieve their goals. So that's one takeaway. Two, Surround yourself with like-minded people. It makes whatever journey you're on so much better. Like some of the ladies went out to go out to eat after the Priscilla's Way meet and group. I couldn't do that because I had to come home and do some work. But just the fact that they're like, you know what, we want to do this. We will share each other's promos on social media willingly. How many of y'all content creators know that sometimes it's hard to get your friends and family to share your episode stuff? I know even as a business owner, sometimes I will say, please share. Crickets, crickets, crickets. But I keep posting anyway, which leads me to another point, another takeaway. Keep going. Like I said, when Myron reached out, it was at a point when I was really questioning a lot of things, but I kept going. And part of why I was asked to be a part of the summit is because I was consistent. You don't know who's watching you. And I'm seeing a lot of people pop up out the woodworks, like people that were at the summit or whatever. Maybe people just wanted face-to-face stuff or whatever, because these are not people that are engaging with my content, but these are people that are watching. You know what I'm saying? These are people that when I started promoting that I was going to be leading this workshop, these are people that have said, I can't wait to be a part of this. I can't wait to see you there. Like there was somebody that I know in the workshop. And so keep going, even when you think nobody's watching. That's why I don't get caught up in all that, because I have goals and I'm trying to get to a place financially for sure where maybe it may be that I'm only, but I don't know though. I can't even say that because right now I really enjoy the work that I do with the subcontracting work, because y'all know, if you don't know, I have such a heart for the next generation. So like working with teenagers, like I really love doing that. And I'm able to reach them in ways that even, and this is what their probation officers say, that maybe previous people could not. Or I was on this call with this, and like the head of probation, or he's somebody's manager or something. And once I said my name and who I was, the first thing he said is, I've heard such great things about you. That can only be from either my boss or the probation officers that I work with. Like I was saying though, keep going because you don't know who's watching. And then last but not least, I have gained a ton of freedom in the past couple of weeks where I really realized that I need to fully be me in every environment. Because I've had where people have paid attention to the humor, but then I feel like don't take me serious when I'm being serious. It made it where I didn't really want to be categorized as funny. And I've talked about that on here. But more recently, I realized that you can still have humor and be talking about something serious. Sometimes that humor will take the edge off the seriousness of whatever you're saying. But nevertheless, what the Lord has really spoken to me is that my personality is not by accident. He created my personality the way that it is for a reason. And I need to stop hiding the parts of me. And this is my encouragement to whoever. Stop hiding the parts of you that you think won't be accepted in different environments. Be fully you wherever you go. And you'll be surprised how many people are drawn to you. But also, if you have like people around you that don't embrace you, then find you some people that do. Because I will say, I can't say none of my friends ever said don't be you or don't whatever. I do have people throughout life that maybe, why are you like this or whatever? But I say that to people too, and I didn't really take that as it's when I'm being petty. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that is my encouragement to y'all. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. So as always, make sure you take care of yourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Be healthy in your relationships. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for